Hi, hello. This is Michelle from Chong the Dog. I received a download today as I was taking Chong out for a dog. For a walk, sorry. It's a very confused energy. But, anyways, I had a crazy download of somebody that's just, I guess, haunted by the past. They're having, they're depressed. They're just they have depression going on. Let's just put it that way. Depression hits us all. I mean, depression is depression. And I have suffered from depression from time to time, but I try to seek help. If it's not from psychology videos, it's from an actual psychiatrist or something. But some people apparently don't. So, no judgment here. But I want to say that when you live in the past, you can never go to the future. And I know it's a general statement, but I like to study what I like to believe what's in truth and the written word and what you could clarify. And when you clarify things in a logical standpoint, it's mind projections, folks. Mind projections are just if you're in your head and you go, well, I love somebody, and you're, I don't know, cooking lasagna or I don't know, cooking lasagna came in my head for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's significant. Everybody, all these other readers, they say things are significant. I'm new to reading. I am a very logical thinker. So I'm gonna bring my coffee. It's what's the coffee? Everybody says what's the tea. I do like tea, but I think I prefer coffee. So let's say what's the coffee. But the thing is if you're constantly having mind projections, you gotta reloop your mind, folks. Reloop it because the past is like going to a funeral. If you once you go to the funeral, the things and the events in that funeral, when you buried that person, they're dead and they're fond memories and they're something you reflect upon, but they're not something you're supposed to dwell upon, I guess. Drink a coffee now. My favorites is, I don't know, I do like cappuccino. I used to like Starbucks, but I think they're a little bit strong. I do like the McDonald's frozen coffee though. That's like ice cream. That frappuccino is pretty damn good. But anyways, getting on this, you can get fragments from the past, but I have, I don't know, I binged. I just read a book on the brain because I just wanted to find out what people think. But our brain constantly loops. And if you're worried about something, I'm sorry, guys. I've had a long day at work and sometimes I have weird sleeping patterns these days. But, anyways, when you're constantly, your brain is geared to where it's gonna have some kind of pattern recognition, and if you have certain substances that you put in your brain, oh my god, I got something in my eye, it's itchy. But anyways, if you have like certain, like if you're taking certain substances and you're a substance taker, some things can cloud your judgment. So I'm thinking this download I got from whoever this is, and take it this as it resonates. I think they were on heavy alcohol and some kind of hallucinative. And the thing is if you got all kinds of chemicals in your brain. I'm not going to get into the whole chemistry on everything with the brain, but you can mess with a lot of like different chemicals and neurons and different reactions in your brain if you trigger intake certain substances. And I think this person's, I guess I'm just going to come and say it, they're on a lot of drugs. So, I don't know. And they're just not in stable mind at all. So, but I mean, I guess this message, if this is you or just someone that kind of does that and reflects upon the past in general and these kind of things, I feel that you're kind of disrupting the chemistry in your brain. Because even Carl Jung says, and he's a world renowned, he was, rest in peace, he's one of my favorite people. He was a world renowned psychiatrist, wonderful mind in the medical field. And he even proved that our minds connect to the source. And you know, it takes a lot for science and medical science to correlate the existence of God. They got to have hardcore facts or some kind of variable to even entertain the fact. And I do know this because that's how science works. You know, that's why you have archaeologists going out there trying to dig up and prove where Jesus was. They got, literally, they got biblical people that like dig up biblical stuff looking for the body of Jesus. And they go over there in Jerusalem and they do RNA scans on all these bodies from thousands of years. They're trying to decode RMA, and that's the ancient language where when Jesus was, or Aramaic, that's when Jesus was around. And they have it where it's somewhat decoded, but will we ever know? We're never going to meet anybody that spoke Arabic. We just aren't. Oh my heart. I wasn't before I started this reading. Maybe this person's tired coming down from some of these drugs. I don't know. I always get sometimes the weirdest downloads. I don't know where they come from, but I mean, and I just kind of wanted to go on to that thing. But if your mind is playing mind projections and you're on all these different drugs, you are going to have a lot of reflection. You're going to have a lot of irrational, delusional thoughts. You are. But I do want to intervene and just get, and hopefully this message gets to the person. If it does it, maybe it can help someone else that's having this person's same problem. And I guess, yes, if I get that you lost something that you felt was sacred. And sometimes things like my mom's telling me, like she used to tell me when I was little, if you let something go and it doesn't come back, it wasn't meant to be, and you just have to somehow make peace with that. Because if you don't, it just festers and it will, and it just never really sometimes comes back. And you got to accept the fact. I mean, I've truly been in love 3 times in my life. And these things, you know, sometimes they came back, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they came back for bad reasons. And it wasn't for true reasons. But sometimes you got to evaluate the reason for coming back. It can never be for manipulation. It can never be for money, because these days it's just a lot more cutthroat when it comes to, I guess, love. As my son says, it's hard to find somebody that actually you can get along with that just doesn't want to take you for your money, because people don't have a lot of it these days. So a lot of times somebody will go with somebody just because they have money. And these are just facts. They really are. But getting to the my download, yeah, he in his head he's delusional. I want it. It's a masculine energy too. It really, it's like it has this like aggression and confusion. It reminds me of almost of a mental patient. And I say that because I'm in medical. And honestly, I don't mean any disrespect. I refer to everything in the medical sense. I really do. I do. When I go through like bad parts of my life, everything is medical videos with me. Every single thing. If I can't make it to a psychiatrist, I literally will watch stuff like I'm at a psychiatrist's office, but that's the medical in me. And the funny thing is, I watch that pimple popper lady, Dr. Pimple. I love her. But the thing is, it's not just pimples. She always removes cysts. And I don't know. It's so weird. I love it because I sit there and she goes in there and gets them, and then she has her instrument. She's an actual Dr. Pimple's actually a surgeon. I don't know, us medical people, we have a really weird and weird sense of humor, and we watch gross things. We do. I go to work, I see a lot of nasty things every day, and it doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, I'll just sit there, look at a bunch of blood and maybe other stuff, and then clean it up. And then we laugh and eat lunch. But this is what medical people do. So, but anyways, this guy is he reminds me like, I get that he's having emotional problems. I get it. But the thing is I feel that he's not even trying to take care of himself, or he doesn't really care about psychology videos. And I feel like he's going down and I say he because it reminds me of a masculine energy. It reminds me like he's going down a spiral. It's really weird. Almost like somebody with PTSD. That's what it reminds me of. It's like this energy. I got real hot out of nowhere. And then I just got cold out of nowhere. Then I got tired. So I had to put up my barriers and little things. Because sometimes I don't know if it's just anxiety, but I really don't. I have been pretty chill and peaceful over here, so I'm pretty sure it's that. And sometimes I see it when I have patients that were from in the military. Sometimes when they hit the age of when when you get older, and you're in the military, they gotta do unnecessary kills. They gotta do a lot of stuff, and when they hit Alzheimer's and they forget the recent and they kind of live in the past, it's like they're in sometimes this constant stage of PTSD. And sometimes you gotta constantly remind them that it's okay. Because it's that military training from years ago where they break you down. The military does, and the thing they do when they break you down is they get you in this killing mode. And when they get you in this killing mode, the military, it's like that's how they want you, because they want you to take out the enemy. But it's almost kind of like that mentality. I feel like I'm taking care of a military patient. And I get it. Whoever this is, I totally get it. It's like I want to win at all costs. That's comes to my mind. And just all this post trauma stuff. Oh my god, it's I guess it's kind of, I don't know, I got to stretch my legs. But it's like kind of like this terrible energy of like post trauma stress from, I don't know, like somebody that's came back from war, this chaotic stress. And I felt compelled to talk about this. And what we kind of do to soothe patients that are going in this kind of like stress mode, I guess you could say. We music, happy music. Music's a very good therapy. Getting things of familiarity, like maybe talk to some loved ones, maybe some loved ones that you haven't talked to. Maybe I feel this person's mother is around. I know, and I feel their father is too. And they have other family members, but I think the mother they're closer to because it was one of those situations where the father kind of was estranged type thing, which is kind of common these days. My parents just kind of made sure that they stayed together because they didn't want that for me, and I went to Catholic school, but I was lucky in that sense. But I feel he was the I want to say he. I feel it's a he. I feel like he wasn't. Some people got a foster care and they got nobody. But I'm feeling this vibe. Maybe a talk with his mother would help. This it could. I don't know. But I don't even want to delve into what energy field and everything he's in because I feel it would be a breach of privacy. And I guess following HIPAA rules and being in medical for so long when I do readings for my coworkers and stuff at work. The thing is I don't really try to get in their head. I can. If I wanted to, I could read their thoughts. Yes, I could. But what I know, I feel it's morally wrong. I do. I mean, picking up on the energy is one thing, but I just feel like it'd be an invasion of privacy at this point. I feel like, and I felt like an energy from a lot of people going through personal crises, and I don't want to get into their personal thoughts and business because I was raised, if it ain't your business, don't get in it. But being a natural born empath and kind of through my awakening, having my empathic skills very homed and on point, I just pick up the emotional signature. And the emotional signature I have is just sadness and hostility. And I don't want to get in statistics. I'm not, whoever's suffering out there, I'm not trying to get in their situation. I'm not trying to put their business out there. I'm not. So I'm just going to do an oracle reading, like the shadow side. I'm not going to get into specifics. Like, I'll just do like a general layout of, I guess, the situation and possibly people around them in a general sense. I'm not going to give specific names. I'm not. I do have names in my head that just popped in my head, but I don't. I feel it would be like a medical situation, it's a breaking of HIPAA laws. So, and I don't want to do that. I feel it's morally unjust. But there is people, multiple people today out there hurting, especially this one person. I do. And I don't feel he's a veteran. I feel that he's associated with military, but not quite a veteran. If that makes any sense to anybody. And I just want to say that sometimes when life changes, sometimes you have to kind of accept, I guess, whatever you did in the past, even it's with regret. It's all meant to happen for a reason, and it's meant for your personal growth. I guess that's what Mom told me, and I just feel bad. So I'm just gonna do like I'm just gonna lay out Oracle cards. And you know what? I bought some really cool Oracle cards. Oh my god. I did it again, folks. I was at Amazon. Oh my god. I was like, oh, this isn't, oh my god, this is on sale, that's on sale. And I'm more of an Oracle reader. And I got so damn excited over these other Oracle cards. It was so great. It was, okay, this is what I do. I don't like going to Walmart, whatever. I'm the person that runs in the dollar stores and runs out, and that's it. And I come home clean, organized, and try to get some stuff out of my house so I don't have a whole lot of stuff that I got to take with me when I leave. I just look at it. Do I really want to buy that to have to remove it, move it over to the other house type energy? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Now, tarot cards, very easy. I could put those in one of those plastic containers and be good. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna do Oracle layout here. And it just gives suggestions, folks. I'm not trying to get anybody's business. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in gossip. I don't even like to participate in gossip. If I wasn't there and I didn't hear you say it, and I don't fully know all the facts, I really try not to embellish upon these things. I don't. And even if I could, which I probably could home into the exact reason, I just feel the pain that I feel now and just talking about this PTSD and these childhood wounds and such. Yeah, that. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about childhood wounds. Yes, there was some childhood wounds. There was abandonment by a parent. And the thing is sometimes horrible things happen to us as a child. And sometimes it breaks your heart. And if you don't learn acceptance or try to seek help, even if it's not for a medical professional, try to find someone else. Medical professional, I think, is better to go to than a spiritual healer. I think spirituality just kind of comes along with when you heal thy mind. And who the better to ask about thy mind than a psychiatrist or a counselor or something? I mean, us medical people go to school for a long time, folks. We do. We dedicate our whole life. Today, I literally had, oh my God, 4 family members. I'm trying to finish charting, and I'm in the middle of waiting on money to buy a car. Right? So I carpool with my brother, and he likes to leave. And I was only working to doing an 8-hour shift instead of my 12s. And of course, they always want me to stay longer. I said, not today, Satan. Sprinkle, sprinkle. That's what I said. I don't know, this one live streamer that does tarot, I love him so much. He's so funny. The Armenian guy, oh my god, he makes me laugh. And he always has what's the tea and all this. Oh my god, he's so funny. And he goes sprinkle sprinkle. And then this other lady always every once in a while goes, not today, Satan. So I don't know. I find these whole phrases completely funny. But yeah. Childhood wounds are bad, but sometimes you gotta you reflect upon them, and when your mind projections come, you gotta think of something different. I draw, and a lot of times when I draw, I'll say, ooh, I seen this in my dream, and I see lots of stuff in my dreams, so it's just something to kind of calms me. But the thing is, it triggers downloads every time I be drawing out what was in my dreams, and sometimes that just leads from one catastrophe to another. But yeah, I say if you're having these horrible childhood wounds, go to the psychology videos on YouTube if you don't have health insurance, because the therapist we're talking today, somebody was trying to stay longer because I was like doing this. I work at this rehab unit and it's expensive as hell to stay there. And the insurance doesn't a lot of times want to pay for it because they want to bring it to the long term side, and then you don't get the therapist and this and that. But I understand if you don't have good enough insurance for that. I totally get it. But at the same token, there's psychology videos here on YouTube. There's college videos on there. I got so excited, folks. I found Harvard lectures. If you look for college lectures, there's so many. And during COVID, a lot of the college professors, they started putting all the videos from all the colleges. Oh my God, they had it on Yale. I was interested in volcanoes, and I was in a Harvard lecture room. I really wasn't in it. It was on my big TV, but I pretended I was at Harvard, and sometimes I do that. If I feel sad, or if I feel like I want to be somewhere, I'll just do like a simulation. Like I'll put the video on and I'll say, ooh, I'm at Harvard. I'm here. I'm there. I used to tell my kids this too, folks. It's like us medical people, we work every holiday. And when I tell you, you work a lot. You do, because when you hold a medical license, it's crazy, but I guess a lot of people sometimes their licenses give out because, if you get in trouble with the law, you can't hold your license and just all kinds of stuff. But given that, but yeah, I used to have to work a lot of holidays. Oh, I go get hired. Oh my God, this person's killing me. But anyways, and anyways, I'm confused too. I'm gonna go get to my oracle reading because I don't know, this energy got me tired as hell. It's me or just my weird sleeping habits. I don't know. But the thing is seek help from psychology videos here on YouTube, please. Because I feel it may help you. It really, really may help you, friend, because this energy is very, very strong. And when I say very strong, heavy, I mean very strong, heavy, 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 heavy. And I feel it's about love, because you know what, women do get obsessed about love, but I feel women sometimes bounce back quicker. And I say that because women get emotional quicker. We do. We're quick to be clingy sometimes, and more sensitive because we're brought up. And I'm going to bring up the medical aspect. I absolutely am. Women are conditioned from society. It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. That's how we're at. That's how we are. But then the boys, you can't cry. You gotta be tough. You gotta be this. You gotta be that. As children, that is how we're raised. And even if your parents said it's okay to cry, you go out there in the world and like, oh my God, you're gonna cry like a little girl. Little girls, I feel, are pampered and they don't bottle up their feelings because the first thing they do is cry. Boys don't cry very much, so when they do find someone they care about, I feel that it takes a while. And sometimes, but then they have that primal need. I mean, this energy feels so sexual at the same time. But there's regret and loss and sexual, but that's kind of common to a lot of people, so take this as it resonates. I'll try to like get some details that doesn't seem too invasive to whoever this is, but I feel there is some sort of heartbreak. I really do. And men just kind of always are seeking some kind of, and this is a psychology point of view. This is not from a spirituality, because before I was fully awakened, I have spent many years with my friends at medical facilities, and that is where I feel the most comfortable. I am the person, if you invited me to a party and let's say you're all sexy, big muscles, and all this, and there's a lot of people. See, that's a problem, the people. But and there's a lot of people, and let's say you're popular, and maybe in another lifetime, but I'm just gonna say this is fantasy because I don't think this would ever happen to me. Let's say there was a famous guitar player that wanted to take me somewhere. I would probably be worried I was gonna be tied up in a basement, but besides that, and this is true facts. I get to this damn party, probably trying to look fabulous, this and that. Now that got a lot healthier and kind of worked on my health a little, and I had a couple health issues. It was nothing terminal, but I got good health insurance, so I'm good. I bounced back. But if I seen a hospital and let's say, well, I'm always going to have a medical job. I don't care if I got $1 million. I'm always going to have a medical job. I would be going, I feel more comfortable in a hospital around sick people than I do around fabulous people that are sexy and having fun. I would run from this party, even if it was a Hollywood party. I'd be like, deuces. And I would think, and I would say, I got to take Chong out. I got to go check on my dog because he would have a babysitter at this point. I would literally hire a babysitter for my dog because I love him. But anyways, I would leave the party, probably leave the guy sitting there. And I do mean I would probably leave the guy sitting there and he'd be like, WTF. And he'd be like, where did she go? Where did Chong the dog go? Oh my God. I'd be like, oh, my patient needed me. I gotta go. I don't know. I've always had a thing for guitar players. It wasn't so much cowboys. You'd think I would with my family being Southern, but no. It was that. But if it was somebody like popular like Guns N' Roses or Bon Jovi or something, and all that, I would probably find an excuse to leave. I could never be a groupie. I don't know how that works. I mean, I know how it works, but I don't know. I would be sitting there going, it would feel so uncomfortable. I think I would have to know them at a friend level to stay at that party. It would be weird. I do get sidetracked all the time, but my kids will tell you. They'll be like, "What was we talking about, Mom? What was we talking about? Now you're talking about this. Now you're talking about that." But yeah, but I'm gonna do a little bit on this love energy because I feel this person fell in love with somebody and it just didn't work out. And I know everybody's talking about shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. Not everybody's spiritually awakened like that. And this is why the world has doctors. This is why the world has. This is why psychiatrists will drop videos over here. That's why college professors drop videos over here. You could actually, if you don't want to listen to Carl Jung, which you'd be crazy not to listen to Carl Jung. Who is the coolest person and the most popular person on YouTube? Carl Jung. I don't know. Stephen Hawking, too. Oh my God. I don't know. They're both so alluring. And then my biggest crush of all times. Oh my God. I guess this is what's the coffee on top of trying to find out, helping out this poor soul. Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. There is a heartthrob right there. I know he does not like women. I'm very sad about that. But I don't know if I could find a person that knew string theory and physics and stuff, and I could really pick their brain. I don't know. That would be hard. Do you love Sheldon? Out of that whole show, I just find bookworms very attractive. I think I find them just as attractive as musicians, honestly. Sometimes I think they're safer. Sometimes I guess I would have to really know the guitar player. I am going to specify I'd have to know them, and then I'd have to kind of know their friends a little. I don't know if I can go on with their having all these women throwing themselves at them and able to have sex whichever way. I mean, look at Ozzy. He was married to Sharon, and in the documentary, he cheated on her a couple times. And I mean, who would not want to sleep with Ozzy Osbourne? Rest in peace. Love Ozzy. Oh my God, do I love Ozzy? Who doesn't love Black Sabbath? Whew, that's a good record. Or Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. Oh my God, when I was younger, I used to. That's what we used to do. We'd smoke the ganja and listen to Led Zeppelin. That's some classic. I like the classic stuff. I do like some of the new stuff also. Classic stuff is, I don't know, it has elegance to it. And then Rainbow in the Dark, that's a good one. And Iron Maiden, Fear the Dark. Oh my God. I could listen to Iron Maiden, Fear the Dark every day. Sometime I did for a while. I think I may I think I may listen to Iron Maiden, Fear the Dark. I love it. I mean, honestly, I've been through so much stuff in my life. I'm not afraid of nothing. But the one thing I am afraid of is, I guess, an attractive man that has a bunch of women after him. I do fear that. I fear what disease they might have. I really do. I don't know. It's just, I don't know why it's appropriate for this reading, but my mom told me to talk about that. You know, sometimes when we think we love somebody and we're separate with them, sometimes they could come back unclean. And not just spiritually unclean, folks, because not everybody sees dead people. Not everybody sees ghosts. Not everyone sees entities. And I'm not out here to tell you that just because you don't, you're not special. I'm not. Because I'm not special, folks. Not at all. I'm just one person in the world that is a fan of Carl Jung and Stephen Hawking. And I honestly think that we live in a black hole in an alternate string theory. According to string theory, I think we're all dead in an alternate reality. But this is the person you're talking to. So I don't even think I'm special. So, but I'm just saying, if you guys are going through things, maybe try to divert your mind to think about things that you want to do in the future and just your future goals and why it's important that of what you want to accomplish before you die. And you know what? If you are a famous musician, God bless you. I'm sure you've had a lot of play with men, women. If you're a woman, for musician, you probably had a lot of men, which is fine. Which I hope you would be practicing safe sex, because safe sex is very important. Because, folks, I will hound you about it. Herpes is on the rise. AIDS is still going around. It's not as bad as it was, but I want to remind everyone there's no cure for AIDS. Not at all. And with the government making cutbacks, folks, AIDS, sometimes the cocktail for AIDS is not covered by, it is covered by insurance, but if you don't have insurance, can't get your cocktail, and you got to try to have sex with somebody, you absolutely will give them AIDS. There's chlamydia on the rise. Do you want to mention chlamydia? Nasty. Black rose, there's not a lot of cases of black rose. Tuberculosis, it's not as prevalent as it was, but it can, everything, there's always a small percentage. And these are people not trying to keep proper measurements of their physical health. I'm all for, you think that girl or that guy is really gorgeous, but there's a but. Is he clean? Yeah, think about it. There's genital warts, herpes. There's herpes of the mouth. Yeah, we want to, that person's attractive. We're into them. Oh my God, I'm going to send them thousands of dollars and wine and dine them and try to get them to come visit me. I don't live in the same state, whatever. I'm going to kiss them with my tongue and this and that and do all kinds of stuff to them. What are they giving you? Did you check inside their mouth? Did you actually try to maybe get a medical report? Protect your own body, folks, because there's things going out there and I see them. And it's not good. And, always at work all the time. Oh my God, a card just came out. So let's hear. This came out in reverse, and a lot of tarot card readers say this is significant. So let's see what it is. Sometimes my intuitiveness comes. All right, bad timing in reverse, folks. I'm going to go with bad timing in reverse as the opposite of bad timing. All right, bad timing, obviously, the universe isn't punishing you. It's protecting what isn't fully aligned yet. What's truly meant for you won't miss you. All right, so bad timing in reverse. So somebody, I don't know, we'll just go with this. There's a lot of readers. I don't think these are the ones that go in reverse. Bad timing for some of you guys. Some of you love gurus out there that are all over. I love this person. I love this. This one's sticking out, so we'll stick this for somebody. For somebody, we got someone new. There's someone new. Hopefully, you guys, before you get all your pheromones enraged, all going crazy everywhere, doing the nasty. Can you find out if they're infected? But anyways, we got someone new, and this says someone unexpected could soon shift your perspective on love. You're not done discovering what your heart is capable of. I don't know, that's for somebody out there. I feel Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Aquarius. I don't know, that's what's coming to me. Those signs. If you're maybe one of those fixed signs, or just one of those signs, maybe it's for you. Here's another one sticking out. Sometimes this happens. Physical passion. This connection is charged with desire. Just make sure hearts aren't getting lost in the heat. All right. Someone out there wants a booty call. Someone's getting a booty call. This is what I'm getting. All right. This card is saying, just don't let them think it. If you're not ready to commit, make it totally necessary. You're gonna have drama. You're gonna have the drama llama. Drama llama llama. I'm gonna have more coffee. You know, I might label this video Coffee Time with Chong the Dog with all the blabbing I've been doing about all this. And I do want to talk to you guys about STDs, because all these readers they be talking a lot about, be this, do that, but none of them are saying make sure they don't have AIDS. Make sure they aren't sick. And don't just believe somebody. And God forbid, if someone says they're on birth control, still use a damn condom. I got pregnant with my first son when I was on birth control, and that was many years ago, but it happens. So, use a damn condom. Just saying. And put your boundaries down. Women will take advantage of you, folks. That's the biggest trick in the game. They just get all sexy, get you liquored up. They go, I'm going to make him my boyfriend. I'm just going to get pregnant. And there's women out there that will do this. Why put yourself in that position? But we're going to call this Coffee Time with Chong the Dog. All right, unspoken feelings. Aquarius, Cancer, Aries. Those are the ones that are coming to me. I got nothing else. All right, and this is, you're not imagining the undercurrent. There's an emotional charge here that no one's fully naming yet. If you're in a connection, any of those signs, and I mean a connection, not just single, doing whatever. I mean actual connection. If you're in a connection and you feel this undercurrent or there's all these different unspoken feelings, I don't know. I would withdraw and say we're going to address these feelings, because if these feelings go and it's a certain way, I don't know. You never know what the outcome is. Let's find out the outcome. That's all I'm saying. Secrets and lies. All right. I'm going to read the card. That's for somebody. Maybe the signs will come to me in a second. Not everything here is what it seems. Lies, omissions, or double lives could be distorting the connection. Cancers, Pisces comes to mind. Someone, maybe that's a Cancer and a Pisces. Sagittarius, Virgo. I think any of those, if you're one of these fixed signs, there could be something here. I feel like there's maybe some kind of small secret someone's not telling you. I don't know. These are my oracle cards. I'm just an oracle reader, folks. I like oracle readings. It seems to be my strong point. Okay, ride or die. I love this new street slang. You're my ride or die. I think this is hilarious. These words are funny to me. All right, this is about unwavering loyalty. The kind that stays through thick and thin. If you gotta ride or die by your side, cherish and defend them fiercely. Um, I don't know if you guys have them. Somebody, hopefully they're clean and they're safe and they're not gonna make you sick. Hold them fiercely. That's the coffee. That's the coffee advice here for love. Everybody wants to be in love. I want to find out why about the underwater volcanoes, but a lot of you guys want to know about the love. All right, sharing space. All right. Whether it's moving in or feeling like home in each other's presence, you're aligning on a domestic level. All right, I'm picking up Taurus, Capricorn, and Sagittarius on this one. I will tell you, if you're sharing space, make sure you know this person, because when I was growing up, the Catholic Church was always saying if you're going to be with somebody or whatever, get married. Then the Pope actually came out, and my parents were like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And the Pope actually came out, I forgot which Pope it was, and said you should know somebody for a year before you share space with them. He absolutely did, the Pope did. And it was a big thing for a Catholic Pope to do this. And he said this, I think it was Pope John Paul II or some stuff like that. I don't know. Don't quote me. I believe it was. But, and if the Catholic Church is saying if you're sleeping together and there, don't jump into marriage, because there was a lot of divorces that came. Because everybody got married a lot when I was younger. This is why I have husbands. But anyways, yeah. So I want you to keep in mind you really don't fully know somebody till you've known them for about a year. And if you're gonna share space, have a level of trust and get to know them for a year before this happens. Because if you don't, sometimes you find out things and you end up hating their guts. And this happens? Oh my God, does this happen? Oh yes. Oh yes. Then we got marriage vows. Oh my God, I'm talking about marriage and marriage vows comes up. How ironic is that? Laugh out loud. All right, we got a couple in love. They're staring at each other with the lovers embrace. Forever isn't fantasy here. It's a shared choice. Marriage is either present, predicted, or deeply desired. And I do want to add on to this card, it's also a commitment. This honeymoon stage, when you get married, folks, after a year, fades off. And after your honeymoon stage, things start bothering you. Like, you might sit there and say, I really love so and so. She's so good. I like when she does this and this in bed, yada, yada, yada. Or the girl said, oh, I like when he does that in bed. That fizzles out over about a year. Then after a year, they say, you know what? It really irritates me when he keeps the toilet seat up. I can't stand when they don't put the dishes in the sink. Or I'm tired when they leave their garbage all around. Because then we're talking about, do a checklist. I don't know, my ex used to say this all the time. My second son's father, my ex, Well, the husband. Ex-husband, whatever you want to call him. But he used to say, make a checklist. And if you meet somebody and they fit every kind of point in your checklist, maybe you got something. And even when he met me, he did it. He did a checklist, and if they hit certain points on your checklist, like even down to physical appearance, like obviously you got to be attracted to somebody or you're not going to be able to perform the deed. We all get that. It's life. But put a thing down, be like, and ask them certain things. Be like, how neat are you? Do you like to cook? Some guys, it's real important that women cook. Some guys, it's not. But find out what's important to you and what's would make or break a relationship after the honeymoon stage. After the honeymoon stage, I guess you could be referred to as the lustful stage, where you're just all into each other. So then we got here, no strings attached. Oh God, this card. Anyways, I'm picking up Aries, Leo, Capricorn, Aquarius. Of course, an Aries and a Leo. And Aries is always I like to call it the free sexual spirit of the deck. And Leos, they're pretty damn like that. And Virgos can be like that too. They just want to really get that sexual energy out. I get it. All right, it starts with no strings, but even in the most casual ties can tangle fast when the boundaries get blurred. This card is saying, and if anybody here of those signs that I had out, these boundaries can be crossed and blurred because the SEX is so good. Be careful. This is why I don't like engaging in these kind of practices, honestly. I don't know. I don't, unless I really know a person, I don't like to do things like this. But anyways, and then holding you back. Here's another love card. Everybody loves talking about love, so I got love oracle cards. All right, holding you back. You're dimming your light to keep the peace. Love should never require self-abandonment. Oh, somebody. All right, let me show you here how she's just kind of looking around like, what you do, where you think you going, is one of those things. I'm hearing Virgo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Leo for this one. If somebody's being possessive, and this is pretty much being possessive, and you got to keep peace, or you feel like you're going to self-abandon yourself, maybe you got a dwelling, or maybe you work together and you're fighting over space. It could be work related for some of you. It could be home related to some of you. It could be a lot of different things. So I feel if you are, I don't know, if you're in this kind of situation, I just feel like you need to set boundaries. Boundaries are so important, folks. You got to have boundaries. Please have your boundaries. And God, it's all over YouTube on how to set them. Set your boundaries. Because boundaries are important, folks. They're so important. Because what you gonna do? I mean, it is what it is. So I wanted to let you guys, I'm going to label this video Coffee Time with Sean the Dog. I really think this would be good. I might start a coffee time segment Because I got so many cards, and you don't want to know how much money I spent on cards. These other cards, but I do want to leave you guys now that. Ironically, now that I've been drinking my damn coffee, I feel like I should get these other oracle cards to give you guys advice. You got all this stuff going on, and I do mean all this stuff. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the world. I do want you guys to. I do sense that someone's unclean. I just sense the uncleanliness somewhere. I do want to make sure everybody gets tested for STDs. And I do say this because you're talking to a medical person. I always say this. My kids think I'm insane. They always go, Mom, that's what you always talk about is everybody's unclean. Everybody's unclean. There's a lot of people unclean around here. Lots of unclean people. All right, I have these beautiful Green Witch Oral deck. Love it. I like these. And it has a beautiful book with like a lot of. These are sayings, and then it has beautiful like paragraphs of things that actually can help you. So I'm just going to shuffle these around for you guys just to give you, after our coffee time talk, give you some stuff to reflect upon. I feel if we reflect, reflecting is good. It really is. And we should always reflect our mind because in spirituality, I will bring up spirituality. We are in a spirituality channel. In spirituality, I feel that all of these energy vampires everybody talks about, and they talk about in such loose terms, are people that can penetrate a mind that's weak. I'm sovereign, folks. And it's really hard for things to penetrate me because I'm very sovereign. And being empathic and going through everything and just processing all my pain and being able to transmute stuff and things like that and absorb things without it bothering me, I had to work on that. I really totally did. And I've done a lot of reflecting and a lot of inward, just going inward and getting a strong mind. Because don't let outside influences affect your decision inward. Don't even let people do it. Because if it's true what Stephen Hawking and some of the scientists say, they say we're in a parallel universe. And maybe the demons we see are our negative emotions and the demons that we create ourselves. That's a deep thought right there. Very deep thought. Self-imposed demons. And we can. I mean, what do? We're always creating things, I am a horror writer. Look at The Shining. The Shining's a great movie, but it's about somebody creating their own demons after a family was murdered at a hotel. And we are creators of our own universe and our own mind. And they say there's multi-universes on top of multi-universe layers from different number correlations. Usually it runs in prime meridian numbers of, usually it's infinity numbers. Infinity numbers usually start with threes, like 999, 333, 111. Any kind of prime numbers, and then you take the prime numbers and multiply them. That's why everybody says if you see 666, it's a variation of 333, a prime number. Prime numbers are just base carbon numbers that have coordinates. And they're associated with certain stuff, but it's very scientific and mathematical. Anything that's here can be proven scientifically, and this is very true. But anyways, I got the pine tree and the cauldron with last minute information to leave with you guys, because I feel, and I'm gonna read the page in this beautiful deck. I just love buying all. I just love being an oracle reader. I think it is very soothing. It soothes me. It soothes me to help you. This is what I do. I love the broom one. I love when the spirits, when my ancestors tell me to get out the broom. But this is what came when what my ancestors said be good for this reading. And it has a thing, it's not actual saying go get a cauldron. No, it's just oracle cards here. This is about, what's this in here too? Creation, opportunity, and caring. And then we got the card meaning. Self-transformation, one of the central goals of witchcraft, can be intimidating. The Cauldron card reassures you that brewing change is a chance to create new opportunities for yourself as well as those around you. This can be as simple as adopting a fresh outlook. Okay, my ancestors are saying you need to have a fresh outlook. They're one of their suggestions, and I'm not done. This is a beautiful book. The Cauldron encourages you to think creatively, and well, I'm just stumbling on my words today, and to try combining things that may not seem to work together at first glance to solve a problem. The cauldron is also a symbol of nourishing yourself and others. Caring for those around you is an enriching pursuit for all involved. So get a fresh outlook, friends, and it's saying and if things don't seem to work together at first glance to solve a problem, don't take the easy way out, they're pretty much saying. And try to get a fresh outlook on this thing. It's like if somebody offers you, I don't know, it says, oh my God, here's $1 million if you eat this food. Did you ever think about what might be in the damn food? Just saying. Just saying. Or this is a really good idea. Let's sell our soul to the devil. And everybody jumps in, and then they wonder why they confused looking like crazy demons. Just saying. This shit happens. Alright, it says the cauldron is also a symbol of nourishing yourself and others. Caring for those around you is an enriching pursuit for all involved. So, care for the people around you and don't just go jumping in while it's hot. Just sit back and say, I'm going to get another outlook on this situation. I'll get back to you later. I do that all the time. People ask me and say, I don't know the answer. I'll answer you that maybe when I get my answer later. All right, now the reflection. Homework. All right. Are you avoiding brainstorming different solutions when faced with a problem? All right. Are you brainstorming solutions? All kinds of solutions, just not the one that's the easy one that the darkness wants you to choose. Are you exploring all of them? Someone says, let's sacrifice blood of a virgin, And you say, okay, why are we doing this? And what are the circumstances? Question everything. Because if someone's trying to convince you something that you thought is too good to be true, possibly it is. Possibly. Alright, we got the pine tree. Let's see what the advice the pine tree brings us. I love trees. Trees are wonderful. I don't have you guys went and just why don't you guys should go out in nature and maybe I'm always taking pictures of trees. This is what I do in my photography. And I'm not a professional photographer, but I was like, you know what? On YouTube, you could be anything. And you don't really have to go to school to be it. You could go take some pictures, and I do have some patients that are famous photographers. And they gave me some pointers, but I did not go to school for photography. I went for medical. But I'm hoping that some of the pictures I took are cool because I do try with my. I probably gotta go to bed. I gotta be out the door by 5:30 because my brother's a maniac on these weekends. I gotta actually be out and ready to go at 5:30 with my clothes on. All right, we got pine tree. This is vitality, longevity, and perseverance. Or preservance, sorry. Preservance. The card meaning, and this is your suggestion with all this love stuff going on, and my personal suggestion, make sure they all clean. All of them. And if you have to, burn some sage around their ass too. Make sure they don't got a demonic attachment to them. Because, wow, that happens too. And make sure they're not a karmic attachment too. But anyways, the pine tree is a symbol of life enduring. The promise that even if things seem dark, it's not over. Some kinds of pine trees have root systems that are centuries old. And while a single tree may die, the established root system can introduce a new seedling or to replace it. The rejuvenation cycle tells us that even when something appears to be dead or finished, there are still roots alive. So if you think something in your life is dead, it's things are still alive. Nothing is ever truly gone. Don't give up on it. That's what this card's saying. Pine is a popular building material. It absorbs shock, is resistant to excessive swelling and shrinking. And although it dents easily, it is long lasting. A pine tree card tells you to hang in there. Life may be knocking you around a bit, but even dented, you're reliable and can last longer than you think. I don't know, that's for somebody out there. And then the reflection, homework. All right. Have you given up on something you shouldn't have? I guess losing hope. I mean, I don't know. I love trees. Pine trees. I don't know. I want to say, besides the weeping willow, I think the pine tree is one of my favorite. I do like them. I don't know. They do. They're resilient. The pine tree is always there. And I feel that nature itself reflects our spirit. And I feel that's why it's such a shame that people destroy nature. They destroy nature. They cut down trees. They torture dogs. People are just horrible to a lot of living things for no reason. I mean, in medieval times, They used to do children sacrifices and stuff, some people. People do awful things. And the thing is nature reflects upon us, and they say that a piece of God, even if you worship lower deities, a piece of God is always present in everything you do if you're living and breathing and eating. And I want you to keep that in mind, because if there's a spark of God in everything that's living, even in something malevolent and dirty, but they're breathing, but there's still a spark. It might not be a big spark. It might be just a little dot. But if there's a dot, they're saying that in anything that's living, there's a dot of God. So if you're doing something and you're saying and you're cursing God and this and that, and God doesn't ever want you to worship Him. I do want to say that. Me and my friend, we have these intellectual talks all the time, my friend Pedrick, and he says that I always say, I don't put him, I do love God. Yes, and I'm always he's my ride or die. If I'm in a lot of spiritual pain, who else you gonna trust? And it's not Ghostbusters, laugh out loud. But if you're in a lot of spiritual pain and you got all of these horrible things around you and you're crying and you're in your dark night of the soul and you're just in this deep depression and breaking down, are you going to sit there and trust the hands of your betrayers to help you feel better? No. You're going to go to your most familiar that you trust, that truly loves you. And what is God? God is love. And what do we always get hurt about and get butt hurt and go into the dark night of the soul about? Love. Why are people more bonded to their mom all the time? Well, besides they gave birth to you. Love. Maternal love. It's always about love. And if you go against love, you become fragmented, and it kind of destroys you on a lot of different levels. It does. And then you sit there and say, well, I'm going to be rich, so it doesn't matter. The thing is, what is money? Okay, you got billions of dollars, but everyone hates you around you, and they poison you and take your money, and you die. Can you take that money to your grave? No. So did money really matter? No. See? But the love mattered. So try not to just be a horrible person, I guess what I'm saying. Because thinking horrible like that, I guess it'll get you nowhere. Honestly. So I just wanted you to do that. And I'm labeling this video Coffee Time with Chong the dog. Because they say, what's the tea? And everybody, I love that. They go, what's the tea? What's the tea? And they be shuffling cards. And I don't know if I could do all that. I'm just going to call this Coffee Time. Where I just do a general, like, love oracle reading or whatever. And because love is what we all seek in this life. And even the most cold-hearted people, they go in a dark night of the soul over love. And the people that never allow love in their life, folks, these are the ones that have the darkest night of the soul. And I tell you the darkest, because people that have allowed love in their life and had love connections and had proper, disconnections and went through it a couple times and allowed themselves to love and broke up, sometimes it's not a huge deal. If you get a divorce, but you really had two people before that, and you really loved them and went through it with them, it gets easier and easier. to move forward. But if you don't allow yourself to love when it does happen and the love's taken, you feel like your whole life is going by because God just revealed to you what He is, love. And when He takes away that love, or that love walks away from you, you just like, what the hell did I do? That's how this goes, folks. So I stay, when I'm sad, I'm going to trust the person that is love. And the only person that is truly love is God. He's not the God of chaos and all that. I trust the God of love. If I'm truly suffering, I call to Him and I asked Him to take away all my pain. I did. I asked God to take away my pain and my suffering and help me. And He helped me heal my inner child. Some childhood wounds I had. And I thank Him for that. So I want to just kind of embellish that because this is one of these things I'm supposed to be doing, and I promised God I would. I really did. I promised in God's name I would try to make people not be so fragmented. So, on this coffee time with Chong Oracle session, I think we're just going to use love oracles. And we're going to discuss love. I'm going to let you guys go because I'm going to put this video through and probably sleep 3-4 hours and work 12 hours. And I hope to God that I don't die before the day's done. And I love all you guys. I do. And I hope everybody is safe. And I hope y'all are not out there getting karmic attachments and doing death magic and crazy shit. Because that's some heavy stuff. And it has a heavy karmic debt. Don't be out there doing this black magic and hoodoo, voodoo and stuff. Don't. It just doesn't. It's not good. And it's going to lead you away from love. So if you're doing all this for love, you're actually asking a lower vibration to give you love. So why would you want a lower vibration giving you love? They don't know what love is to give it to you. It's like asking somebody to cook for you when they're 2 years old and they don't know how to turn on a stove. But you're asking them for love. It's like, okay, you're going to ask somebody that isn't 2 years old and older that has an idea what love is. It's like, find out the quality of the person you're asking for these things. These deities are of a lower level. I want to say they have sometimes the mentality of an infant. They don't know what love is. They have no idea. But people call on them. They say, oh, let me get this horrible demon, Guba Jabba. And I'm going to do this blood sacrifice. I'm going to sacrifice my soul and all this. And it, it does work. It will bind you, but it's binding you to an entity that doesn't know what love is. And they are going, and the universe will give you your wish, but it's the love that being thinks is love. And sometimes, watch Hellraiser. Oh my God, watch Hellraiser, folks. When they ask for pleasure and they open the cube in Hellraiser with Clive Barker, this is how I like to think of deities. You know those Pinhead? Oh my God, he's one of my favorite characters. This is like my favorite movie too. Pinhead, everybody figures out the cube and it opens up on its own and hell comes out, right? All the hell people come out. And you asked for pleasure. You know what they give you? pain. Because you know what? That is their pleasure. Now, you ask a lower deity for love. Do you know what they're giving you? They are giving you love. That's why technically the universe allows it. Yeah, think about that. A lower being is, you're asking it for love. They say, okay. You know what love is to a lower deity? The lower levels of leveling up? Possessiveness, bondage. They give you bondage because that's love to them. They don't know what love is. If you don't know what it is and you never felt it, how can you give someone love? You're asking a demonic person that's fragmented, that's like a psychopath that has no idea what love is, to give you love because you're desperate. And people do this with the voodoo magic and this and that. The thing is, you cannot ask somebody at that level for something to fulfill your heart. So please do not go hexing people. And I don't know why my ancestors and God is telling me to talk about this. I don't know why. But I guess there's a lot of hexing. There's a lot of people calling lower beings to do their bidding all the time. And the thing is sometimes some things can't be blocked. If you're calling in lower level beings to give you love, sometimes you're going to get bondage and possession. Or just possessiveness. So I want you guys to be aware of this because it's not fun to live with something like that. Not at all. So, and I'm going to conclude this coffee talk with Chong the dog, and that's what I'm actually naming the video. I didn't even know what I was going to name this video when I started with all this, but yeah. And I'll do another coffee talk tomorrow because I'm not going to have the damn energy to draw a picture after 12 hours of residence draining my soul while I'm at work, asking me for everything and trying to chart, because God forbid we got to chart because the state says you have to do it. So I'm sitting here trying to chart and all this stuff, and I didn't even take a lunch break. I'm just sitting there trying to finish my freaking work, and I'm trying to chart, and there's like, I was doing skill charting. That's the worst. And I'm sitting there doing all this damn skill charting, and everybody's ringing, and I had less patience, but it took me damn near an hour and a half to chart on like 18 residents. I'm like, what is going on in the universe? Seriously? But yeah, don't engage with people of lower vibrations, and please, I guess if don't ask these lower vibrational people for love. For the love of God, don't ask them for love. Are you asking for spiritual court? I mean, or just real court? Because, then that leads to a domestic and everything else. Because they're going to respond. The universe going to give you love. Those lower vibrations, sure, I'll have her love you. As she's trying to beat your ass, and then you got a domestic put on you. That's usually what happens. So, I will see you tomorrow for another coffee time with Chong the dog. And thank you for supporting my channel if you're subscribed. And if not, and you did like the video, and you like the coffee conversation, you can subscribe and like. And if not, it was nice that you stopped by, and and tomorrow will be another conversation about love, the love vibes. And I will talk to you guys later.